Okay, so let's get into it. Dropped an episode of Lowercase, my story about jail, about my case, and then a little bit more about stuff like that. That's Lowercase. Also dropped Africa MMA show episode 7. Gonna still drop part 6 of Gold Label episode 3. Might do episode 4 on Gold Label today as well, God willing. So I just want to get into episode 8 of Africa MMA show, and basically some of the topics, but there are a little bit more, is MMA media turning liberal, claiming Kamzat stole middleweight title fight from Strickland. What will they say if Ilya fights Islam ahead of Volk? Brother Bilal out of UFC 310. So let's get into it. I think Ian Gary would be a good interim title contender. I think this plays out well long term. I'm still going to pitch Kamzat making a return to welterweight. I think that I'm also still going to pitch him to fight McGregor. I know Jorge is coming back, but yeah, and he does have a lot of hype behind him. But to be fair and unbiased, even as a Masvidal fan, he is coming off 4 losses, so I don't really want to see him, fighting for the interim title. I just don't think that would be fair. So a lot of other fighters in welterweight that should be given the opportunity and should be picking up their hand. So yeah, I am gonna pitch Kamzat to fight McGregor again. Remember, Conor needs to fight next year. He needs to. MMA is a fast-paced sport with a short temper. I don't think McGregor can survive another year out of the ring. As it is, most of his fans are now old. The young fans now have kids who are married, referring to his previous and existing fan base. This affects a lot of things from a McGregor PR perspective. His wild antics don't appeal to his core fan base. They have grown up, but he hasn't. This could be the real reason the UFC are ducking a McGregor fight. I'm asking, could it not be Conor ducking but the UFC? This would make sense. Maybe this is why he's still so flashy. A fighter in his position would only be ashamed if he was the one ducking. He isn't the one playing hide and seek. It's the UFC yet again. I think they've polled Conor and realized he won't pull the numbers he once did, and he doesn't have the engagement he once did. Because understand, this was 7 years ago at best when Conor was at his prime. Not because I am a Khabib superfan, I am, but his fall from grace started long before that fight to the Eagle. Media and its landscape has changed so much since Conor's place as king of the UFC. He is also the main promoter of all his products, which suck because his viewer base are too old and aren't rich enough to afford his lifestyle. I think Conor is code red right now. The UFC know it and just don't want to say. Dana doesn't want to tell his Batman she'd rather choose Harvey Dent. That's the pity. A pity that Conor needs new young fans quick, or he will be burning through money like he has been burning through money. The yacht seats at Monaco will be exchanged for the tunnel. He needs to put himself at the center of attention again and quick. He also needs a money fight with huge pay-per-view buys and gates in attendance. Kamzat is literally his only option, literally, unless he can drop weight to featherweight to fight Ilya or Volk, which I seriously doubt. And I don't even think Jorge for McGregor at welterweight is a good fight either. I think it's a good fight for Jorge, not a good fight for McGregor. So yeah, I think he sees a gap in welterweight. I think if Ian is interim champion, to either see a Conor challenge his Irishman versus Irishman for the luck of the fighting Irish would definitely be a good fight. If Kamzat fought McGregor for the winner to fight Ian Gary, provided he wins, if the fight is even a possibility at UFC 310, I see that as a good forecast for welterweight this year. Having Kamzat fight McGregor and Shavkat fight the winner of the interim title, presuming Gary presuming obviously Gary and Kamzat, the battle in the O for the O is too nice. If McGregor, I see less buys but more hype, so you decide. Shavkat versus Gary isn't as exciting, but I'm really pegging a lot of Kamzat moving back down to welterweight. I think Shavkat and Kamzat would both agree their matchup would be exciting. I would rather wait on Ankalaev versus Pereira. I think December is too soon for either to back down to welterweight. I think Shafkat and Kamzat would both agree their matchup would be exciting. I would rather wait on Ankalaev versus Pereira. I think December is too soon for either fighter, two fights, and just coming off their own respective stuff in their career this year,